Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin DeLeon with Cengage Learning. We are the publisher of the textbook for your Psych 1010 Introductory to Psychology course here at College Southern Maryland. And I've been visiting with a lot of students coming into class, talking to them about the component Mindtap that is either used with your textbook that is required for this course, or it can be used in place of your textbook. And the purpose of this video is to tell you about what Mindtap is, how to access it, what your purchasing options are, and how to navigate Mindtap. And so hopefully we'll do those things today. So to hop kind of right into it, kind of the two things that I want you to take out of this video is the two most important things are that I'd like you to register your Mindtap code in your Blackboard course that you currently use for this class. So you'll go into Blackboard and you'll find some Mindtap links. The page that you're looking at now is a demo Blackboard course that I have, but yours will be set up very much the same way. The other thing that I'd like you to remember is to disable your pop-up blockers. To access the Mindtap course, when you click on the link up here called Mindtap course, which is how you enter to register your Mindtap code, and will also be the entry point for Mindtap throughout the semester for you. When you click on this link for the first time on a computer that you've not been on before, you must disable your pop-up blockers. And I have some resources for you. I'll go over those right now. If you come down here, you'll open up a website that has a ton of different resources for you on how to use Mindtap and how to register Mindtap. So you can see here, this is like I said, a private page that I've made just for you. Here's my contact information over here in case you have trouble with your Mindtap code or really anything else. This part right here, I talk about each step about registering your Mindtap code. So if you follow these step by step, you should have no issue registering your code. Okay. I also created a PDF, which is down here. This is the link to it. Okay. And it shows screenshots of the registration process. Okay. And I also have a video here that talks about the registration process as well. Now, one of the things that I just mentioned was pop-up blockers. If you're not familiar with disabling your pop-up blockers, I have some resources here for you. Please do not use Internet Explorer as a browser. It just doesn't work very well. It's pretty buggy. So I suggest Google Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. They all work great. And again, if you're not sure how to disable your pop-up blocker or you have trouble, you can watch each of these videos here, and they will help you along the way. Also on this page, I'll mention are some other resources. We just recently launched a Mindtap Mobile App, which will allow you to access parts of Mindtap right from your phone on the go. So on this Mindtap Mobile App, it's a free download on Google Play or the Apple Store, and you will use your Cengage credentials that you use when you register your code to link the app to your current course. You'll be able to receive notifications about any due date changes or any messages from your instructor. You'll have all the already made flashcards for every single chapter for the book. And there's also a quizzing game on here as well. The quizzing game is designed for you to be able to access some content really quickly for a moment or two to test your knowledge on the content that you might be tested on or that you just want to further quiz yourself on. And so this app is really designed not for you to so much do homework on, but more to access the content for study purposes on the go for 2 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, those types of things. Below here is some information about tech support. You can click here to create a technical support ticket if you need, okay? Also inside Blackboard, you'll see a link here for technical support. They will take you to the same page. One thing I like to point out here for the technical support page is when you log into the page, occasionally it will log you into your account as it has for me here, okay? But some of you might come to this page. And you would think that you would use your credentials that you created your Mindtap course with but you don't actually. You actually have to create an account down here with this button, okay, in order to create a ticket. So it's a separate login or account that you need to create. It's a little wonky, so I'd just like to point it out to you. Lastly, down here, there are a couple things. If you do not want to allow all pop-ups on your browser and you want to manage the exceptions, these are the sites that you need to enter to manage those exceptions, okay? Lastly, if Blackboard goes down, you can access Mindtap through this website. And again, you'll enter in the Mindtap login information that you enter when registering your code initially, and then you can find your course there. So if Blackboard does go down, you'll be able to access Mindtap this way, and all your grades will flow back and forth. Lastly, I'm going to do a demo of Mindtap here as well, and that demo can be found here, or I guess you could always just watch this video again. Okay, so registering for Mindtap through Blackboard, how do you do it? So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to your Blackboard course just like you normally would for any other course. Over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see a bunch of different items. Again, this is a demo course, but yours will look pretty similar. You're going to see a folder over here called Mindtap, which I'm actually already in. And then you're going to see a bunch of different links here. You're going to see a link for the Mindtap course, technical support I've been over, and also this website that I just reviewed with you. To enter your course, you're going to click this Mindtap link right here, okay? Now, I've been on Mindtap on my computer before, so I've already disabled my pop-up blockers. But if you have not, you will need to disable your pop-up blockers, okay? Once you've disabled your pop-up blockers, you will click this link one more time, okay? You will then begin your registration process, okay? So when you begin your registration process, after you've gone to Blackboard, clicked on the link, disabled your pop-up blockers, you've then clicked this link again, you will be prompted to create an account with us. If you've never registered a digital product with Cengage before, or if you don't remember, it's a good idea to create another account. The button that you'll look for is gray. It's towards the bottom. It says, don't have an account. So you'll click that button and you'll create an account, and we'll just need some of your information about who you are and an email address, those types of things. I suggest you type out your full name because it's this name that will show up in your instructor's gradebook so that he or she knows who you are. After you've done that, you're going to be prompted with 3 different options. The first option is called Pay Online. This option is if you've not been to the bookstore and you've not purchased any course materials for Psych 1010, but you want to, and you only want to purchase Mindtap. You can choose this option and purchase Mindtap directly through us via instant access. Mindtap does include a full ebook, and you can print out of it. So if you're not the kind of person that needs a paper copy during class and you just want to learn digitally, you can. However, if you've already been to the bookstore and you've bought the package that includes the loose leaf book and the access to Mindtap, you can choose option 2 here. And that option is called Redeem Your Access Code. So again, if you've been to the bookstore and you've purchased the package with the loose leaf book and the code for Mindtap, you already have the code. And you can put the code in here and off you go. The third option is down here at the bottom. It's called I'll Pay Later. It is a grace period. It allows you to use Mindtap for free for a few weeks in case you are waiting for financial aid or a GI Bill or waiting to see if you're going to drop this class, or you might just be curious what option you're going to choose. So if you choose I'll Pay Later, you can use Mindtap for a few weeks for free. When that time expires, you'll be prompted to then choose one of these 2 options, okay? Once you've chosen one of these options, it doesn't really matter which, you'll have access to Mindtap and you'll be ready to go. So again, just to refresh, because this is kind of the most important part, is registering your code through Blackboard. So you'll go to Blackboard, again, you'll click on this link, you'll disable your pop-up blockers, which is the second most important thing I want you to remember. After you've disabled your pop-up blockers, you will click this link again. You will create an account, and then you will choose one of these 3 options. Again, I'll Pay Later is buying just Mindtap. Option 2 is redeeming your access code, and option 3 is called I'll Pay Later. If you have any questions about that, you can certainly email me here. And again, I've typed out these steps here and the options here as well. And again, there's a video on this page here, right here, to help you. Okay, so let's hop into Mindtap and check it out, and we'll continue. Okay, so I'm inside Mindtap right now. Okay, and so this is what the first page is. So I want you to think about Mindtap in 3 different categories. This category over here, okay, is the content section. This is where everything is. The links to the ebook, quizzes, the different study tools, homework assignments, everything you need to do in terms of content is right here. Okay, and you can get to it in these 3 different views. This is a week view. This is a unit view or a table of contents view. And this is like a topic or an overview. Okay. This section over here is about your grades. So every single time you take an assignment, whether it's practice or graded, your grades will show up here. And it's designed to just be transparent and help you keep an eye on how you're doing in the class. If you click on this link here, you'll open up the full grade book and you'll be able to pull some extra analytical data out of here about how you're doing in the class or certain topics that you're struggling in or what scores you got on the last test. So it's just a great place for you to come and just see how you're doing, especially if you don't want to ever have to wait for some feedback from your instructor about how you're doing. You can go here and find out yourself. The third area is this app doc over here. Now, I'm in an instructor account, so not all these apps will show for you here, okay, but many of them will. And I'll go over those as well. Most of these are study tools, okay? So we have the content area, we have the grade area, and we have the study tool and app area. Okay, so let's go back to the content area. Again, you have 3 different views. This first view, highlighted in blue, is the week view. So every single time your instructor gives a due date to an assignment, whether it's graded or not, it will show up here in your week view in the corresponding week in which those items are due. You can see these are due on the 18th, which is the date that I set. Again, this is a demo course. The nice part about having all of your items here is not only that they're in front of you and it's a really quick place to look to see what's due each week for you, but these are also hyperlinks into each of these activities. You can see that these are ebook links. You see that this is Chapter 6, Section 1, Chapter 6, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4, so on and so forth. And if I click on them, I'll actually launch right into the ebook, which is that activity. Okay. Also, there are some other items here that I put in here. Again, I haven't made any changes in here because this is a demo account. So these are all set to be graded activities in this chapter. And you'll know that they're graded because it'll have an orange G for graded here. Again, if I clicked on each of these, I would launch into them. The real purpose of the week view, again, is to give you one singular place to come in and look to see what is required for you for this course for this week. Because I know that you all are busy, you're all taking other classes, you have jobs, you have kids, you have other things going on. And it's nice to just have one place where you can go, see what's required of you, click right into that activity and complete it quickly so that you can move on to your next activity, okay? You can use the arrows to get to different weeks, and then you can drag up here as well to different weeks as well, okay, whichever you like, okay? So that's the week view. This right here is the unit view, okay? So I'm inside Chapter 6 right now, okay? But if I wanted to get back to all the chapters, I could click this back button here to get to all the different chapters, okay? But I'll go back into Chapter 6, okay? And this is how it will look the first time you enter it. So there are a couple of different areas. These are all different activities, okay? And then in this folder are the links to the ebook for each section of this chapter. If you'd like to get to just the entire book, it is over here in this app that looks like a book, and you can get to the full book. However, each chapter has individual links for sections of that chapter. So we're in Chapter 6. So these are all the different sections of the Chapter 6 ebook. So as I mentioned before during my registration part of our discussion, is that there's an ebook inside of Mindtap, and here it is. And you can get to it in 2 ways. These are all the links for Chapter 6, and this is the app to access the full book. So we'll go ahead into one of the sections because there's a couple of things that you can do in here. The first is you can print, and the print button is up here. Okay, so if you'd like to print, you can. I'll get onto a page so it looks a little differently. You can print just this section or the entire reading, whichever you like. Now, if you're going to print the entire book, I would really suggest that you go to the bookstore to make your purchase. The print option is really designed for those that want to learn online, but maybe want a couple pieces of paper every once in a while to bring to class to read or scribble notes on, or those types of things. You can print as much out of here as you like. It's just probably more cost effective for you to go to the bookstore. You'll also notice in the ebook that there's a lot of different media available. Okay, so in this case, there's an interactive
examples of classical conditioning are usually
okay, that you can click through. So you'll find that on some chapters. You'll see different graphics that you can enlarge to take a closer look. Okay. Your instructor can also add his own content into the ebook if he likes. You can also have the page read to you. If you click this button up here, it will start reading the page aloud to you. But if you want to have the text read to you, but maybe not the entire page, you can highlight a sentence or two. And when you release, you will get these options every single time. And if you want the text read to you, you can click Read Text, and we'll read that selected
While conducting these
paragraph.
studies, Pavlov noticed that sometimes the dogs began to salivate before the food was presented to them. Sometimes the mere sight of the food dish or the sound of the approaching experimenter was enough to produce salivation.
So this is great in case you want to have it read along with you while you read, or if English is not your first language, or if you need help with a pronunciation of a word, this is great. Or maybe you want to highlight the whole page and stream it through Bluetooth or put your headphones in while you're listening on your phone. It's a really good tool. Additionally, like I said, every time you highlight something and release, you will get these options. So one of them is a dictionary. So you can look up any word that you like instantly. You can highlight in any color. Okay. Any bold glossary terms that you see, you can click on and get the definition instantly. If you want to create a flashcard, a custom flashcard, you can add a flashcard, and whatever you've highlighted will be the definition. And then you'll just have to enter in the term. And of course, you can make any edits that you like. And then you can also add a note if you like. This other option is called Questi. It is an online research and paper writing resource. It is this red app over here. I'll go over that at the end. But if you want to search something within Questi, you can highlight and search Questi for it. Also keep in mind your instructor can push notes to you and highlights. They will come through as orange. Then you can also bookmark a page and do all those types of things. Pretty easy. So that's the ebook. And if you want to get out of the folder here, you can just click next to it. This item right here is a quiz. It's very basic. It's a straight multiple choice quiz. All you do is click on each question, select your answer, and then when you're done, in the very top right, you'll see a blue button that says, I'm done, submit assignment now. Just make sure that you do that so that you can actually submit your assignment. Okay? This item right here is a video action quiz. While your book has some incredible content in it, it can't play videos for you. And in the world that we live in today, a lot of our students like to learn by watching a video.
Just over
So
the
in this
sensory
video,
motor strip,
it's only a couple minutes long. There are a couple of breaks
and
in the
sensation
video.
of the body.
And whenever you get to a break, it's going to stop and we're going to ask you a question. We do this to help you learn a little bit more actively as opposed to passively. And it's a really great way to help you understand specific concepts in the book in a way that, again, your book never could. So if you're trying to study at home on a specific concept or for anything particular for a certain chapter, this is a really, really great way to test your knowledge. And some of these might be required for homework for you as well. And when you're done, just click next, and then you'll submit your assignment as you go. In this case, there's two different
high-functioning
questions.
autistics like...
Okay, so that's that. Pretty basic. This question down here at the bottom, you'll notice it says apply here. I can tell you that when I talk to instructors about their students, one of the things that most of them tell me, or almost all of them tell me, is that they want to work on helping their students with their critical thinking skills. And that's exactly what these activities are designed to do, to help you improve your critical thinking skills, because they're very, very important when you get out into the real world. And critical thinking skills are basically your ability to learn a concept and apply that concept into different situations that you can think critically and not memorize things, okay? And so the way that this works is we only have one question. It only takes you a few minutes to do. It's very short, and they're incredibly effective. Most of the students who have taken or have used Mindtap in Psych 1010 in previous semesters all told their instructors that these activities help them prepare the most for their assignments. So in this case, we're going to want you to take this question 3 different times, and there's a reason for that. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Again, before we hop into it, when you're done with it, you'll come back here and you'll click this button that says I'm done, great assignment now, to make sure you submit it. Okay, so let's hop into the assignment. So in this assignment, all we want you to do is do a little reading. In this case, we also want you to watch a little bit of a video, very short. It's only 2-3 minutes long, okay? And then we want you to answer 2 questions. It's really short, okay? And then at the bottom, we want you to click grade it now. Okay, I didn't do very well there, but that's okay, because where it says open here, there's a bunch of explanation that will help me with this question. This explanation is not general. It is very specific to the question above. So if you're really struggling with a specific concept and you're at home and you need help, this feedback will help you, especially if you don't have a teacher or a peer next to you to help. Okay, so probably you're wondering where the critical thinking comes in. Okay, this is where it happens. So after you've answered the questions once and read about what was right or what was wrong, we want you to come down here and try another version. This is why we give you 3 attempts. You'll notice here that this looks like the same activity, right? It looks the same video, right? 2 questions. It is not the same activity. It is the same concept, but the details in the questions are different. And this is how we help you actually learn the concept, as opposed to just memorizing and putting an answer down on a piece of paper. Because you have to have a deep understanding of what the concept is to apply it in a different situation. And although this concept is the same, the situation is different. So we want you to do this one more time. You'll get a 3rd version, and then you can click save and continue and move along and submit your activity. They're incredibly important. So this last plank up here that I'll talk about is called mastery training, okay? So this is a little bit of a different concept for you, so I'll make sure that I go over this pretty thoroughly. So has anyone ever heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Probably most of you. And the reason that we use that saying to describe the mastery training is the reason you're supposed to eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away is if you eat an apple every day, they say that you're eating well and you're getting healthy. But the only way you can do that is to do it a little bit every day. You cannot eat 30 apples in the car right before your doctor's appointment and expect to get a clean bill of health when you walk into the doctor's office. It's the same concept as not cramming before a test. So we don't want you to study all 3 chapters for a midterm the night before the midterm, and you shouldn't expect to master them or really, frankly, do very well on the test. And the reason is because your brain really has a difficult time absorbing a lot of information in a short period of time. What we'd rather you do is not cram and study a little bit of information often. And so this is how we do it. The first time you enter the mastery training, we're going to ask you to pick a session about how many memories you'd like to build. Because this is a demo, I'm going to click 5. But none of these really take all that long, okay? And then I'm going to click Start Learning, okay? So to get points, there are no right and wrongs here. So don't think about it as a quiz or a homework assignment. It's not about how many you get right and wrong. It's about completion and engaging with the content, okay? So we want you to get all your memories or concepts to level 1. Okay? And this tutorial talks about why it's important to do that. Okay, so we're going to start the set now. So initially, whatever concepts are in chapter 6, because that's the mastery training chapter that we're in, it is going to show us a bunch of different concepts that we want to learn. So initially, it's going to just introduce them to us, just like they would be introduced to you via your instructor or you reading the book. Okay? And at the bottom, you're going to click this Got It button to go to the next concept. In this case, there's a graph here and then some terms up top. Okay? And so in this case, we're talking about conditioning. So after you've gone through and clicked Got It for all the different concepts that we're covering during this session, we're going to start to actually quiz you. And you'll notice that every time I clicked Got It, my progress is going up. The point here is to stay in the session until your progress gets to 100. So after we've introduced the concepts to you, we want to quiz you a little bit on what you know or don't know. Okay, but again, remember the purpose is not how many right and wrong you get. It's about progression and it's about completion of the activity. So in this case, we want to know, do you know it or do you not know it? And this is one of the concepts that we just went over. I don't remember it. So I'm going to click don't know. So in this case, it's actually going to give me the answer. Instead of just moving to a different question, I told it I don't know. So it wants to give me the answer. And after I've read it and I've thought about it a little bit and I've understood it, I can say, okay, I got it. It's going to then give me another one. Maybe I feel like I know this one, so I'll click know it. And it's going to ask me, do I know it? I got it right. Had I not gotten it right, it would have said that I was wrong, and it would have also given me the correct answer. And this will continue until we go through all the concepts. As I answer them right and wrong, they're going to keep introducing the same concepts to me in different ways to make sure that I know the ones I say that I know and that I learn the ones that I do not know. And again, you're going to do this until the progress is at 100. Once you're finished with this activity, Mindtap is going to tell you, listen, you've learned for a short period today, but we want you to come back because that's the point, right? We don't want you to cram. We want you to learn a little bit every day or a little bit often. So at the bottom, we're going to tell you when we want you to come back. Lastly, once you get to the end, you're going to see a big graph that shows a bunch of different dots. And these dots are going to represent all these concepts and memories that you've built. And you'll notice them progressing from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, which is where you'll see a bar for level 1. The idea, again, is to get everything to level 1. Now, if you don't come back often, those dots that have been progressively moving towards level 1, like these dots, and you can click on each one of them, they all represent a different concept, okay? They'll start moving towards level 1 to the right. But again, if I don't come back in the next time that I'm supposed to, in my next review time, these dots will start to fade away, like they would be falling out of your memory. Okay? It's the same principle as if you read chapter 1 last night and came to class today, you'd probably have some of it in your memory. If you talked about it in class that day, even more of it would be in your memory. And if you talked about it in class on the next day, even more of it would be in your memory. As opposed to if you read chapter 1 last night and didn't talk about it today and didn't talk about it tomorrow and maybe didn't even talk about it next week, the next time you looked at the information in chapter 1, you wouldn't remember it because you've only looked at it once and you haven't given yourself a chance to learn and remember those concepts. So again, each time you have the choice about how many concepts you want to learn, okay? And then you can click this button to get going. Okay, so it's pretty simple to go through, okay? So over here, again, we've already talked about the scores and how you access them. You'll see different dots on this chart representing some of your scores. So it's a really great way for you to glance quickly and see how you're doing. Lastly, over here is a bunch of apps, and I'll go through those really quickly. This top one is a search app. This app is designed for you to search and find anything inside of Mindtap. So if I type in the word psychology, it might try to guess a couple for me, okay? But in this case, some of these are definitions that they're right here. And other times where psychology has come in, it's in actual places in Mindtap. I could click on these and go directly to them, or if I didn't find what I was looking for and notice it was only showing me 10 of 128, I could show more. and I can hyperlink to anywhere I want to go in the book where psychology is. So it's a pretty effective tool. Again, this is the book. It's the full book. So again, if you've not bought the book and you only want to learn digitally and also save a little bit of money, this is great. Again, you can print out of here. Okay, so that's the book. This is the glossary. It's just like any glossary in your book. It's just in digital form, so it helps you find some of the terms a little bit quicker. Okay. This is your progress app again. Okay. So you can see in here anywhere, any of your grades or anything like that. Okay. This is where you can change settings for the read speaker. You can change the voice or how fast it's reading to you. These are flashcards. Now, if you're one of these students that creates flashcards on your own as a process of learning, I would suggest that you do so. Although I find that most students find flashcards helpful, many students don't do them because they take a long time to make, and you guys are short of time. So we've made them for you. You can get to any chapter up here, and then to get through the terms, you can click for the definition. You can go to the next card. You can create your own card. You can shuffle the deck. You can go to the previous card. And up here, you can print the deck. Again, you can also use the Mindtap Mobile App that I mentioned in the beginning, and you'll get all your flashcards on your phone, which is what I would do. There's a link to the dictionary in here in case you just want to look up a word. Okay. This app right here is a notebook app. We have a partnership with Evernote, so if you sign into your Evernote account, this will become a notebook, and you can sync your notes from Mindtap to your Evernote account and back and forth so that your notes are always with you, whether they're on your phone or your tablet or anything. That's pretty cool to be able to take notes in class and be able to look at them on your phone or your tablet or your computer. So you might take a bunch of notes here and put all your notes in here and then walk around with your notes and use your phone as your study tool throughout the day. This app over here is a Study Hub app. Every single time you take a note or highlight, see there's 3 tabs over here for different things you can do. Every time you take a note or highlight, we're going to organize all your notes and highlights for you. If you click here, you'll see the notes that I took for Chapter 6 in these different sections, when I took them, and these are all also hyperlinks to go back to where I took the notes so that I can study more. This is really effective in terms of studying. We don't want you to take notes or highlights and then do nothing with them. So we've organized them for you and allowed you to go back. So you might highlight something or make a note and say, this is important, come study this some more, and then go back and read a little bit more. You'll also notice that the highlight that was supposed to be from your instructor is right here. So all of his or her notes will show here for you, and again, you can hyperlink back to them. And then you can also come up here and use a filter to filter all your different colors or shared notes or highlights. And then you can print here as well. All the bookmarks that you add will be here as well. Hyperlinks just like the notes and highlights. And then up here at the top is a study guide area. You can click up here and create yourself a study guide. Maybe I want all the key terms, any custom flashcards I made, and then the shared notes and highlights my instructor shared with me. And I could add other units here as well. And so here's my study guide. There's the shared highlight. Here's all my key terms. And I didn't make any, there's no instructor notes and no flashcards. And then you can print out of here as well. Pretty cool. Okay, so last app I'll come to is down here at the bottom. It's called Questi. I would bet that every single one of you has to write a paper in either this class and or another class. English, history, sociology, whatever other class you're taking. I guarantee that you're probably writing a paper. So this product is called Questi. It's an app inside of Mindtap here. It's included in your Mindtap Access. It is an online library and research paper writing resource. You can search our library for over 10 million different content sources, and they're all from our Gale database, which is a database that we frankly sell to colleges, universities, public libraries. All the content is vetted and good. We get books, magazines, peer-reviewed periodicals, different articles. It's awesome. You can really find anything in here. If you click on the menu here, you can look at our library for all the different topics. This one is psychology down here. You can see all the different subcategories or specific categories we have for psychology. So if you want to write about any one of these, you can. And if you want to come up back to the search, you can look for anything that you like. Also, if you come over here, we have a writing center. So this is the thing that I struggled most when I was in college. It wasn't so much finding the content, it was more how to put the paper together. Okay, so we're giving you that resource here. So just like the writing center at your school, we've got a writing center here as well. In case you're not able to make it to the writing center, or maybe it's late at night and you don't have access to it, you have access to ours. So this writing center here is a wizard that will start helping you write a paper, and it will take you through all the different steps of writing a paper. If you need some help with those steps, you can click here or here to these 9 writing steps. That'll walk you through how to write a research paper and any trouble areas that you might find, like how to get started, how to select a topic, research and note-taking. The one at the bottom here is citations and bibliographies. This is a critical component to writing a paper so that you're not plagiarizing, although by accident, we don't want you to do it anyway. So it's important to cite properly. So this can help you here. Additionally, over here on the left, we've got a bunch of different tutorials. So if you're a video person and you like to see examples on something that you're having trouble with, we have a bunch of different topics here. I think there's 10 of them. So you can come down here and find an area that you're having trouble with. If it were me, it would be working with documentation styles. You can click and see a bunch of different categories for different documentation styles that you need help with. For this psych class, you'll probably be using APA format. And I don't know if any of you know how to use APA format, but if you don't, this is a great video and also an example about how to use APA format. It's an awesome resource. Lastly, inside the Writing Center, you'll see a topic finder. Maybe you're trying to write a paper and you just don't know what to write about. And you can type in a keyword and we can help you narrow it down with all these different topics relating to the keyword that you entered. Or you can try our topic idea generator. And you can spin the wheel and we can help pick a topic for you. And then you can explore each topic or spin again if you like, in case you've got writer's block. Here you go. Lastly, underneath your name up here, there are some additional resources. You can get to tech support a third way here, okay? And also, if you're having trouble with your browser, you can click this system check button here as well to make sure that your browser is up to date and is the best possible settings to support Mindtap. And then there's also a help button over here that will display an overlay showing you where to get to different views. I hope this was really helpful. Again, we've brought Mindtap into this course because it's a tool that's helping students get better grades in class, because that's why you're here. You want to improve your skills and come out of this class with a good grade. And while your book is great content, Mindtap can offer a tremendous amount of resources for you that your book just never could. So I hope it helps you manage your way through your course this semester and helps you get a better grade, because I'm certain if you use it, it will. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email, and I thank you very much for listening to this.